In this captivating journey through Arsenal's current season, we'll take a deep dive into the dramatic narratives shaping the futures of 5 key players: Fabio, Vieira, David Raya, Bukayo, Saka, Ben White and Jurrien Timber. Each of these footballers is playing a pivotal role, facing their own unique challenges, from injury setbacks to proving their worth in one of the most competitive leagues in the world. As we explore these stories, we'll uncover how these individuals contribute to the Gunners' successes and struggles, from injury updates to career-defining moments. Arsenal fans will want to keep a close eye on these players as the season unfolds. So, let's begin our journey, starting with Fabio Vieira's unfortunate injury setback, before moving on to David Raya's remarkable turnaround, Bukayo Saka's fitness concerns, Ben White's North London derby drama, and Jurrien Timber's controversial challenge. We begin with Fabio Vieira, the Portuguese midfielder who, in the final days of the 2024 summer transfer window, returned to FC Porto on loan. The decision to send Vieira back to his former club was made in the hope that he could regain his confidence and form after struggling to find regular minutes at Arsenal. Porto, where Vieira had once flourished, seemed the perfect place for him to rebuild his career. But, as is often the case in football, things haven't gone quite as planned. Unfortunately, Vieira's return to Porto has been marred by injury. Since rejoining his old club, he hasn't had the opportunity to make a single appearance due to a persistent injury, which has left him sidelined and unable to contribute to Porto's season. For both Vieira and Arsenal, this has been a bitter blow. The hope was that he could use this loan spell to rediscover his best form, especially considering the fierce competition for places back at Arsenal. However, fate has once again intervened. Porto's manager, Vito Bruno, has been cautiously optimistic about Vieira's recovery, but has been unable to provide a concrete timeline for his return to action. Speaking about Vieira's situation, Bruno expressed the midfielder's determination to get back on the pitch. He brings good energy and that will help him recover as quickly as possible, Bruno said, highlighting the player's positive mindset. But he also made it clear that the club is reassessing daily and that there's no certainty regarding when Vieira will be ready to play. Now let's shift our focus to another Arsenal player who has been making headlines, David Raya. The Spanish goalkeeper arrived at Arsenal on loan from Brentford in the summer of 2023, a move that raised eyebrows among fans and pundits alike. With Aaron Ramsdale already firmly established as Arsenal's number 1 goalkeeper, many questioned the need to bring in Raya, particularly when Ramsdale had been such a reliable figure between the posts. Pundits were quick to voice their concerns. Former Premier League goalkeeper Shay Given even suggested that Arsenal might be signing a problem by bringing in another top-class goalkeeper, fearing it could disrupt the harmony within the squad. Gary Neville, another outspoken pundit, criticised Raya's early performances, particularly his kicking ability in a draw against Manchester City, calling it terrible. Raya's first few months at Arsenal were certainly challenging. He showed flashes of brilliance, like a spectacular save in the North London derby against Tottenham, but he also made several high-profile mistakes, notably in games against Chelsea and Newcastle United, which led to Arsenal dropping valuable points. These errors only fueled the narrative that signing Raya was a mistake, and many expected Ramsdale to quickly reclaim his position as Arsenal's first-choice goalkeeper. However, Mikel Arteta stood firm in his decision to sign Raya. The Arsenal manager has always been known for his ability to spot talent and develop it, and he was convinced that Raya had the potential to become a top goalkeeper. As the season progressed, Raya began to repay Arteta's faith. His performances improved, and by the time the 2023-2024 season was drawing to a close, he had solidified his place in the team. In the early stages of the 2024-2025 season, Raya's form has continued to soar. He has started every game, and his shot-stopping, distribution and command of the penalty area have all been exceptional. Next, we turn our attention to Bukayo Saka, one of Arsenal's most talented and influential players. Saka's rise through the ranks has been nothing short of meteoric, and he has quickly established himself as a key figure in Mikel Arteta's side. However, the young England winger gave Arsenal fans a scare during the North London derby when he was forced to leave the pitch in the dying moments of the game. The sight of Saka limping off sent shockwaves through the Arsenal faithful, with fears of a serious injury immediately taking hold. Fortunately, the initial diagnosis was more optimistic than many had feared. Arsenal's medical team quickly assessed Saka's condition and determined that he was suffering from cramps rather than a more severe muscle injury. This was a huge relief for the club, especially considering the important fixtures on the horizon, including a Champions League clash against Atalanta and a high-stakes Premier League encounter with Manchester City. Despite the positive news, Saka's fitness remains a top priority for Arsenal, especially given the current injury crisis within the squad. The likes of Martin Odegaard, Kieran Tierney and Takahiro Tomiyasu have all been dealing with injuries of their own, meaning that Arsenal can ill afford to lose another key player like Saka. His pace, creativity and ability to score crucial goals make him an indispensable part of the team. Shifting our focus now to Ben White, another Arsenal player who made headlines in the aftermath of the North London derby. White, a versatile defender who has been an integral part of Mikel Arteta's system, was accused of engaging in so-called dark arts following Arsenal's 1-0 victory over Tottenham. The incident in question occurred when White was seen celebrating Arsenal's winning goal near Tottenham midfielder James Maddison, leading some to claim that White had deliberately provoked his opponent. Reports suggested that White had celebrated in Maddison's face with the intention of rubbing salt into Tottenham's wounds. However, upon closer inspection, it became clear that the situation had been blown out of proportion. White's celebration was, in fact, directed toward the Arsenal supporters behind the goal, and he just happened to be near Maddison when the goal went in. There was no deliberate confrontation, and the narrative of provocation quickly lost steam. Nevertheless, this incident highlights the high stakes and intensity of the North London derby, where every action is scrutinised and emotions run high. White's composure during the match was impressive, and he has continued to be a reliable presence in Arsenal's defence. Finally, we turn to Jurrien Timber, Arsenal's summer signing from Ajax, who found himself at the centre of controversy during the North London derby. In the 35th minute of the match, Timber made a late challenge on Tottenham's Pedro Porro, which led to a heated confrontation on the pitch. The challenge, which caught Porro on the leg, was deemed dangerous, and Timber was shown a yellow card for his actions. What followed was a brief scuffle between Timber and Tottenham goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario, who reacted angrily to the challenge. The two players squared off, with Timber grabbing Vicario's shirt, resulting in a tense moment between the teams. Despite the heated exchange, Timber avoided further punishment and remained on the pitch for the rest of the match. In conclusion, these 5 Arsenal players, Fabio, Vieira, David Raya, Bukayo Saka, Ben White and Jurrien Timber, are all at the centre of intriguing storylines that will shape the club's fortunes this season. Whether they are overcoming injury setbacks or proving their worth in key matches, their performances will be closely watched as Arsenal navigates the challenges of domestic and European competition.